Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome back to #PHvote 2013, Rappler's coverage of the elections. This is our last newscast for the evening. We are coming to you live from the Bayanihan Center in Mandaluyong. Our War Room coverage is powered by fiber. You're seeing our control center where we've spent the last few days. Professional journalists, civic society, citizen journalists, IT professionals in the back, artists, and many more trying to use technology for social change. You'll see most of what we do on www.rappler.com, but we're also a hybrid of broadcast professionals adapting to the web, and that is the coverage that we've been giving you. Let's take a look at the headlines and come with me to PHvote 2013 on Rappler.com. If you take a look, we're scrolling down here. Headline is ERA proclaimed Manila mayor. You're seeing the coverage now, and here we go for the latest news. Una to Comelec, why the delay? Later in the newscast, you'll be hearing from Toby Tiangco. Olivares takes Parañaque City. Neophytes unseat incumbent mayors in Bulacan towns. Here's an election coverage story, hoping, believing, and Drilon Poe ranking a, quote, pleasant surprise. Now, let's go. We've been looking. It's a little bit more than 24 hours since the polls closed. We've been watching the results closely. Coming in from the Rappler Mirror server, Josh Villanueva loves this widescreen and he will give you the details this hour.
It's a little bit bittersweet, Maria. This is our last broadcast and it'll probably be the last time that I will be playing with this 65-inch widescreen. At the top of the hour at 8:18 p.m., we have 69% of the election returns received. Let me scroll up to our visual interactive visualization of the results, and here are the top 12. Still in first place, Grace Poe, 14,677,869. Number 2, Lauren Legarda, 13,435,000. Number 3, Alan Peter Cayetano, 12,702,000. Number 4, Cheese Escudero, 12,693,000. Number 5, Nancy Binay, 11,979,000. Number 6, Sunny Angara, 11,544,000. Number 7, Bam Aquino, 11,131,000. Coco Pimentel, 10,644,000. Sunny Trillanes, 10,223,000. Number 10, Cynthia Villar, 9,963,000. 11, JV Ejercito, 9,883,000. And number 12, Gringo Honasan, 9,537,000. Maria, we've been watching these results over the course of the last 24 hours, and it is notable, and I want to point out that the difference between, nothing much has changed aside from a shuffle between Alan Peter Cayetano and Cheese Escudero early this morning. Other than that, the rankings have been pretty much the same. Even the gap between each candidate, Grace Poe has maintained a 1.2 million vote lead over Lauren Legarda over the course of the last 24 hours. We've also been monitoring the difference between Alan Peter Cayetano. That's just grown slightly. It's now at 9,000. And of course, everyone is paying attention to the number 13th spot. It's a spot that nobody wants to be in because you're almost there, but not quite. Dick Gordon has 9,102,000, and he has consistently been 400,000 votes away from that number 12 spot. So that's something interesting to point out, Maria.
Josh, could you take a look, take him through the timeline, just so that we can always compare points in time, particularly when there are any kinds of questions raised about this count?
That's actually a good idea, Maria. If you're just tuning in now, if this is the first time you've seen our interactive display, you can go back in time and check out if what I've told you is actually accurate. What we have here is a time lapse. It's like a nav bar that you can actually slide all the way from here. I can actually touch different points in time. The first transmission was yesterday at around 7 p.m. Hold on, there you go. At around 7 p.m., this is the 8 p.m. transmission on May 13. 1:34 a.m. So for example, this morning I came in at 5 a.m. and I wanted to backtrack and take a look at some of the results that came in while I was sleeping. All I had to do was really just pinpoint that moment in time. For example, this one, 3:11 a.m. I was sleeping. Once I pick the moment in time that I want to go back to, all I have to do is press View Snapshot, and when I do that, the page will reload. And if you take a look as that page loads, it will basically load, there you go, the results from May 14 at 3:11 a.m. And if you take a look, the rankings are pretty much the same, except for at that time, Chis Escudero was still in number 3. Now, this is the last time we're presenting to you this interactive display, but you can continue to look at the results, and we encourage you to do so. There are a lot of ways for you to dive in to these election figures, and it's very important that you do so. It's important that you watch your vote. Let me just allow me to run them by some of the features. You can do this at home. All you have to do is log in to rappler.com. On the top, right under the headline, you will find this nav bar. And this is basically your jump off point to a lot of different features. All results, if you click on that, will bring you a text version of the senatorial race. But not just that, you can take a look at the transmission status over here and follow along as the different regions continue to transmit the PHCOS results. ARMM, as you can see, is still behind with only 29% of the votes transmitted, whereas areas like Region 7 have already transmitted up to 64%. If you take a look, what's most important about this text-only all results section is this part here on the right side of your screen. It lists down all the different regions, and you can drill down all the way to your town. So for example, a highly contested race happened in Region 4A in Cavite. So I can click that, it loads Region 4A, and then I can drill down further to Cavite. There you go. These are the results for Cavite for the House of Representatives, also for the race of governor. And then if I want to drill down even further, I can pick any of the cities or towns in Cavite and get results for that. For example, Cavite City, these are the results for that as well. Now, another thing that you might be interested in is the party list race. That's happening over here. There are 58 slots up for grabs, and there has been 6 different party list groups that have that are ensured, that are sure of getting at least 1 seat because they have received up to 2% of the votes. You can take a look at this result here. PHCOS status is probably my favorite because right now, and I know you're going to be discussing this with our guest in a bit, Maria, is the transmission status. As I said earlier, about 69% of the returns have been transmitted. That means there's about 31% left. What's happening all over the country? Take a look at this legend over here. Red means nothing has been transmitted. As you go towards blue, more and more results have been transmitted. Take a look at our map. A majority of the Philippines is a light blue, almost like a periwinkle blue. That means about 61 to 80% of results have been transmitted. But take a look at, there are certain spots in the Philippines that are either pink or dark purple, almost red color. Let's take a look at this. That's the Cordillera Autonomous region. That's pink, which means 41 to 60% of votes have been transferred. But this red area, and let me zoom in so that you can see over here in Mindanao. Let me just wait till that renders. If you click that, that is actually the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao, ARMM. And it's a dark red, which means 21 to 40% of votes have been transferred. So it's important that you went out to vote yesterday. It's important that you now watch your vote. So wherever it is you are in the Philippines, you can drill down to your region and find out what the transmission status of the PHCOS machines in your area is. Now, if you like what you see, if there's a bit of information that you'd like to share, for example, my favorite, of course, another favorite is the Senate race, which I showed you earlier. If you would like to share that, and I encourage you to do so because everyone has the right to know what's going on. And a lot of people do want to know what's happening in the race for the top 12 senatorial bets. There's actually, let me just allow this to load. My internet connection has slowed down a bit. You can actually share the results on social media. So if, for example, you've picked a, there you go. So for example, I want to share this result right now at 8:18 p.m. These buttons are pretty familiar. They're shareable buttons for social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and we have other share options here. Click on any of the services that you might like. This pop-up window will show. You don't even have to type anything if you don't want to. Let's do that. Let's press the tweet button, and it's going to send that tweet out to your followers. Maria?
Josh.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to come back and see if the results periodically update as the PCOS transmissions come in. It slowed down significantly. It was a little bit like a fire hose at the beginning as it came in. And now slowing down, we have 69% of the votes cast being counted on the mirror server. And we've got roughly a little more than 24 hours after the polls close. Now we've got Ayi Makaraig live from Cebu. Ayi, this is the most vote-rich province. What is going on there now?
Well, Maria, a day after the polls closed, there are still no official results for Cebu province. The canvassing of votes at the provincial level is delayed again because of defective compact flash or CF cards in 15 municipalities. The cards will have to be replaced, with the replacements coming all the way from Metro Manila, further delaying the transmission of the results to the municipal level and from the municipal level to the provincial board. As of 5 this afternoon, only 33 out of 51 cities and municipalities have transmitted the returns to the Provincial Board of Canvassers. This translates to about 62.74% of the voters of Cebu province. Still, with the partial and unofficial results already out, you have Liberal Party candidate for Cebu Governor Hilario Junjun David III already optimistic that he will win the race with a lead of over 150,000 votes. He told us that this lead over Congressman Pablo John Garcia of One Cebu and Una shows that Cebuanos want change and are tired of the 18-year Garcia leadership. Davide credits his possible victory to better organization, preparation, and of course, he says the endorsement of President Benigno Aquino III. He hopes the Garcias will no longer question the results, citing the huge lead of LP candidates not just in the gubernatorial but also in the vice gubernatorial race. While we don't have official results yet for the provincial level, in Cebu City, there's already been a proclamation for the mayoral race. Incumbent Mayor Mike Rama is re-elected. He is with Team Rama and the opposition United Nationalist Alliance. He defeated his former ally, Cebu City South Congressman Tommy Osmeña of the Liberal Party, but his cousin, the controversial talent manager Annabel Rama, loses big in the congressional race in the 1st District to the Liberal Party's Raul Del Mar. But still, Annabel vows this isn't the end of her political career. She tweets, "I will return." Maria?
Great. Ayi Makaraig reporting live from us from Cebu. Thank you so much. Now let's go from the most vote-rich province. Let's go to Natashya Gutierrez live. She is in Cavite. She's been following results there very closely. Cavite, 1.8 million voters. Natashya, how is everything now?
Hi, Maria. All is well here. Over 24 hours since the end of voting here in Cavite, it appears that we have a clear winner in the gubernatorial race. Representative Ayong Maliksi of the Liberal Party has conceded to his opponent, incumbent Governor John Vic Remulla of Lakas. Maliksi released a statement late in the afternoon wherein he offered to make amends with his opponent for, quote, the progress of the province. And he later released a second statement wherein he thanked the supporters and accepted his defeat. Now, I saw Remulla earlier today, and he told me he is always willing to work with Maliksi, so this heated gubernatorial race is at least coming to a peaceful end. Now, this is, of course, good news since John Vic's father, former Governor Johnny Remulla, as we all know, was the one who actually mentored Maliksi and helped him first get into power. Maliksi is a former 3-term governor before he became a congressman, and this was his attempt to return to the head of the province. But as it turns out, it seems that the Caviteños are pretty much happy with keeping Remulla. And while the provincial capital is still waiting for the transmission of results from 6 municipalities and cities, We're expecting Remulla's proclamation tomorrow morning. As of 7:26 p.m., Remulla leads with 402,889 votes ahead of Maliksi's 352,538. So that's about 50,000 votes. Jolo Revilla, Remulla's running mate, is also overwhelmingly ahead of Maliksi's running mate, Jay Lacson. Now, earlier I talked to John Vic, and he said from initial results and reports from his volunteers watching the polls, he's actually expecting to win by about 90,000 by the time all the votes are transmitted. He said he didn't expect it to be close. He said he didn't expect it to be this wide. We didn't expect it to be this wide. He actually thought he would win by only about 23,000 votes or so. But once results started coming in from places he expected to lose heavily at, he became more confident. That's what he told me, because the margins there were not as big as he originally thought they would be. He said he felt pretty sure of a win as early as 8:30 p.m. last night. And at 10 p.m. last night, he came into the Revilla's house to congratulate Jolo also for his wide lead over Lacson. He also said it's largely because he thinks the undecided voters ended up choosing him, which he said was a pleasant surprise. And he also said he would focus on housing on his second term and building about 30,000 houses for the poor in the next 3 years. So it seems like things are wrapping up over here. Obviously, nothing official yet, but with the results going this way and the concession from Representative Maliksi, it seems that we have Governor Remulla again on his second term as governor of the second vote-richest province in the country.
Thank you so much. Natashya Gutierrez, live from Cavite. Now, joining us in the studio is UNA campaign manager, Navotas Representative Toby Tiangco. Toby, very nice to have you here on Rappler.
Good evening, Maria.
Good evening. How are you reacting to the results?
We just have to accept it. The only problem now is if we compare it to 2010, in 2010, by 12 midnight, we already had 80% of the results. No? So what I'm wondering now is why we're doing it at the second time and we're just having 69% of the results as of now, after 24 hours. No? So we're quite, I think COMELEC just has to explain, just so that people don't get rattled and don't get worried and don't think of wild ideas. No? The best thing with things like this is to be transparent and give people an assurance and a reason of why there are delays. Like, for example, I saw in your map, it's ARMM that has less than 20% transmission. And you know what ARMM used to be before.
Yes.
So to erase these questions from the minds of the people, I think COMELEC just has to say what the reason is. Is it because there's bad cell sites? What is the reason? Is it because there are few cell sites and the transmission is clogged? I mean, they just have to give an explanation rather than leave people speculating.
Overall, the conduct of the campaign, you've been watching everything closely. Have you noticed things that should have been done better?
In our campaign?
Yes. The voting process first.
In the voting process, I think COMELEC has done their job very well. This is the second time that doomsayers have been saying that the PCOS won't work. In 2010, they said it won't work. It worked. In 2013, this year, they're saying prior to the elections that they said it won't work without the source code. They were proven wrong by COMELEC, which is good for all of us. No one wants an election where the credibility is being questioned or being doubted. That's why the only reason why we want COMELEC to explain and to state why there are delays in some of the provinces and why it's only 69% now compared to last time is for the people not to be alarmed and for the election process to be credible. I mean, we've gone this far. It's just a few days, and then we'll know the winners. But if you compute 69, if you compute the 30% remaining votes, that's about. So if there's 50 million voters and the turnout is supposed to be 70%, so that's 35 million voters.
Right.
30% of that is still 10 million votes.
Yes.
So it's important to. It can make a difference.
Yes. Right now, in terms of the way you've run the campaign, how would you gauge the way UNA has done it?
We've done it, I think, based, the first thing here is resources. No? Admittedly, we had less resources than the administration party. We knew that from the very beginning, but we didn't expect it to be this tight.
Right.
No, we knew that we would have to run in a tight budget, but we didn't expect it to be this tight. No? We expected more contributions, but it didn't come in. So if you would notice, all research says that 80% is TV. But we just couldn't go on TV. The last time we went on TV, the last time our omnibus ad was aired was on March 17. Imagine 2 months before elections. So for 60 days, we had no omnibus ad wherein the EXCO members were endorsing our candidates. That's one. No? Number two, even our individual candidates, if you compare to the candidates of the other party, they had more ads. No? Like JV texted me earlier, he said he even got cut off the air because he wasn't able to pay. He had a delay in the payment. And during this time, I'm sure you worked with the TV stations. At this time, it's cash.
Yes.
So it's really difficult. No, my analogy is this: we had the right medicine, but we didn't have the right dosage. So even if you have the right medicine and you don't have the right dosage, then the patient doesn't get cured.
You started off actually at an advantage when at the beginning of the 90-day campaign.
No, the reason why we started off strong, we started off when they weren't having the ads yet. No, that was deliberate on our part because we knew that we were running on a limited budget. So we were trying to impress upon the donors that we were strong for the contributions to come in, but it didn't come in. So I mean that's how it is. So we just have to learn from the lessons.
In terms of the identity of UNA, it seemed problematic to be opposition but yet not opposition, and then having 3 of the same candidates also seemed to muddy the identity.
The common candidates was actually a situation where we didn't want to get into, no. But of course, they promised and committed that they would join us, and we were just asking for equal treatment, no. And of course, we took their word for it. But things happened, and we couldn't wait any longer. And I was tasked to make the decision after consulting our supporters, no. And I made the decision, even knowing that the 3 are sure winners, no. So for me, it was just a choice of going the convenient way or going the hard way. So I made the decision of moving away from convenient politics and sticking to the 9 candidates. So, and I take full responsibility for that decision. I mean, the count would have been different now if we didn't drop the 9 candidates. But it's just a number when deep inside you know that they're not with you. So for me, it doesn't work that way.
Is there anything you would have done differently looking back on it now?
Looking back, there are lessons learned, but I think these lessons will be very important for us for 2016. No? So I hope you allow me to keep it to ourselves because these are, in everything in life, mistakes, as long as it doesn't kill you, makes you stronger.
Absolutely.
So we have to learn from these lessons, and
Yes.
We have to bring it on to 2016 because admittedly, we're running in 2016.
The survey said 9-3. The results came out 9-3.
Yeah.
During the time the campaign was running, you saw the surveys. You didn't comment on most of them, but is this a surprise?
No, the surprise in the survey is Grace Po is a big surprise.
Yes,
I mean,
definitely.
I think even
For
the survey
everyone, I
companies
think.
are surprised. No, I was commenting. I was saying, Lauren is so lucky. Everyone from 2 down has been moving up and moving down, but she's just there, stable at number 1.
Yes.
And then suddenly Grace comes in now at number 1, leading by 1 million votes. It's someone up there is happy, and I'm happy for her, but it's something that hasn't been predicted. I haven't seen or heard a survey
Yes.
that says she would be number 1. And in political talk, I haven't even heard anyone. People argue with the survey results. Like they say, no, Lauren won't be number 1. It's going to be Alan. It's going to be Cheese.
Correct.
But no one ever said that
It'll be great.
it will be great.
Yes.
So it's really a surprise for us. Another, this one is not a surprise because we haven't accepted it yet, no? But we're wondering why JV's at number 10 because he never reached that low in any of the surveys. So, but in JV's case, we believe that he will go up higher as the results come in.
During the campaign, when you were dealing with the voters, what picture of the Filipino voter do you have now? Has the voter changed?
They're
How
more
would you
aspirational.
More aspirational.
Yeah.
And how do you appeal to them? I guess I'm asking you the formula now that you're piecing together.
You know, you have to understand with okay, a concrete example is there's a lot of OFWs in this
Yes.
country, right? Okay.
10 million.
10
overseas,
million.
Yes.
And of course, they would go to, most of them, 90% of them would go to countries that are more progressive than
Yes.
us, right? Before, they were the vote influencers because they would be the one to send
The money.
the money to their family. But the family didn't know, when a voter would say, you know, I'm working here in let's say in the UK and things are like this here, but the voter could not visualize unless the OFW comes back and brings home the pictures.
Right.
But now on internet they can see everything.
Correct.
So they want the Philippines to be a progressive country in the same manner that their loved one is working. So they're more aspirational now. You know? And with technology, information is so fast. So that's the difference nowadays.
Interesting. Aside.
And one more thing.
Sure.
No? I'm saying this. Media is the new kingmaker. It's not the political
Has
party.
been.
It's not
Yeah.
the political party anymore. No. I think you will see with the results that even the strongholds of very strong political families could not deliver any more straight votes.
Yes, yes. This was a campaign that didn't seem to have that many issues. It stayed in personality-centered politics.
Which was a disadvantage to us, you know, because our candidates got hit. For example, Jack Enrile got
Yes,
hit. Imagine Jack Enrile, who's really a nice guy, you know, being interviewed on TV, instead of being able to talk about his food security program,
Yes.
he has to answer issues 38 years back. And what happens is 90% of the program is he answers issues 38 years back.
Yeah.
And only 10% is left for him to say his platform. So I think it's painful for Jack to be accused this way. But you know, the thing with politics is perception. It's not about reality. I
Yes.
mean, you've covered it so much.
Of course. The Three Kings. You know, again, the Team Pinoy looked at it as a referendum on President Aquino's performance. Vice President Binay, Senate President Enrile, former President Joseph Estrada. These three. Did you see this as a kind of a gauge on the influence?
No, not at all. You know, in the first interview I remember with Senator Drilon on October 1, right after the filing of the certificate of candidacy, he said it was a referendum on the president. I wanted to avoid that issue because, you know, during that time, people were trying to pit the vice president against the president, and they're trying to sow intrigues between both of them.
Yes.
This is one thing we don't want to happen because honestly, the vice president is 100% in support of President Aquino. No? It's just that there are candidates who want to run and they need someone to lead them. So it's purely politics, but based on policy issues, the vice president has supported the president all the time, and the president has said that he is very happy with the performance of the vice president, and there's no problem between them. No, I think it's not logical to say that to compare President Aquino and Vice President Binay because they won't be opponents anyway in any election.
Yes, they won't.
So,
but Vice President Binay hasn't been shy in saying he's looking at 2016.
no, he has declared. You know,
Yes.
he's declared that he's running
Correct.
in 2016. But the thing is, the president will not be his opponent.
Absolutely. Given the results of these elections, how well positioned are you for 2016?
Oh, okay. This election will pass and people will forget about it. You know, it's only us that are politically involved that really care about the rankings, and how many senators won from UNA and how many senators won from the
LP or
no,
Team Pinoy.
I don't call it
Yes.
LP. I call it Team Pinoy,
Pinoy.
because actually it's only one LP
correct,
in there.
only
okay?
one in there, yeah.
So Team Pinoy. Okay. So for those who want to discuss politics, let's look at it this way. Do you think NP will not field in their presidential ball in 2016? If they do, then that means to say it's not
It'll
really a
shift.
victory
Yes.
for the Liberal Party, right? So if you look at it in political terms. But in reality, we cannot look at it in political terms because based on studies, only 7% of the population is politically involved. That's us, people in media.
Yes.
But 93% are more aware of what they will have to eat tomorrow. Who will bring them a better life tomorrow? Kanino ba gaganda yung buhay nila, di ba? Yan yung mas importante. Okay, I will concretize this. For example, in 2016, mayroong isang Liberal Party candidate. At sa amin, si BP Binay. Assuming, we're hoping for an 8-4 result. Assuming 8-4 yung result. Or worst case scenario, for argument's sake, let's say it's a 9-3 result. Do you think the LP candidate will say, I should be president because in 2013, we won 9-3 and we're the stronger party? Or will it be the messaging na ang sasabihin siyempre ni Vice President Binay is we will stick to our message kung paano papagandahin yung buhay ng mamamayang Pilipino. Of course, the LP candidate will also explain to the people how he will make the lives of the Filipino better. So, this election will be forgotten after that.
2013 elections, what do you think it'll be remembered for when you look back with some perspective?
Many upsets.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Change? Is it change? Is it more of the same? I mean, that's another question we've been talking about the last few days.
No, I think it's change. It's change.
In what way?
People are more informed.
Yes.
Media has given them a chance to make more informed choices. And you've seen in the results, no? That people really vote for candidates who perform. And of course, it's a self-serving statement because I got re-elected. But I would think that it's that way. It's not the feudal type of politics. It's not the dole-out type of politics.
But those things are still there, right? I mean,
you cannot eliminate it, no?
Yes.
Because of the poverty line that we have. No, but you would see that I still believe and maintain that people are more aspirational nowadays. They look not on what will I get today, which is election day, but they look at what will happen in the future. No, but even the surveys, right? You look at the surveys. When asked if they think that the future is better, I think this is only one of the very, very few surveys that I've seen that people think that they have a brighter future ahead of them.
They're looking ahead. That's great.
And that's great for our country.
Yes, yes.
Which I'm very happy about.
Okay. Well, I'm going to quickly take a whip around, and then if it's okay with you, we'll come back to your last thoughts.
Sure. I'm very interested, and I'm impressed with the software that you're using.
Oh, we can take you through it. Let's quickly look at the celebrities who have voted. Let's go to Pia Ranada. Pia, tell us what's happened today.
Hi, Maria. It's actually a mixed bag for celebrity candidates. Some have swept their electoral races while others continue to lag, and some have actually been proclaimed as losers for this election. So as we all know, something recently proclaimed was Joseph Erap Estrada's win as mayor of Manila City, and also Isko Moreno's win as vice mayor of the same city. But also in other parts of the Philippines, we have Gia Gomez, who has been proclaimed as mayor of San Juan, and we know Gia Gomez is an actress, but more so when she starred with Erap Estrada in the Ashong Salonga movie. And what's funny is she was elected as mayor of San Juan when we know that that's also a bailiwick of Estrada's, and he was actually mayor of that same city for 17 years. So we have interesting patterns emerging on that front. Also in other parts of the Philippines, we have Jinky Pacquiao, who we all know is as the wife of Manny Pacquiao, winning as vice governor of Sarangani. And in that same area, Manny Pacquiao looks like he's going to be re-elected as the congressman of Sarangani. As for that, we also have celebrity candidates who have lost the elections. As Ayi told us earlier, Annabel Rama, who was running for House Representative of Cebu, actually lost to Raul Del Mar, and the very vocal actress, this very vocal talent manager and matriarch of the Gutierrez clan. We know her for being the mother of Raymond Gutierrez, Rufo Gutierrez, and Raymond Gutierrez. Actually had one of her many numbered tweets congratulating her opponent and also advising him to use his pork barrel for the people. So we have a very vocal Annabel Rama also saying that she has not given up on her political dreams. She will return, she says in her Twitter account, and a lot of her supporters will be looking forward to that in the next few years. In other parts of the Philippines, other candidates who we all know for being celebrities are also overtaking their opponents by large margins. For example, in Quezon City, Herbert Bistec Bautista currently has 479,414 votes, while his closest opponent, Johnny Chang, only has 46,859 votes. So we see this as a big margin. So looks like Herbert will be re-elected as Quezon City Mayor for this year, for the 2013 elections. In other news, Governor of Batangas, Vilma Santos Recto, who we know as the Queen of Philippine box office, will also most likely be re-elected because she has a very large margin against her closest opponent. She has 659,456 votes as compared to Marcos Mandanas Sr., who only has 41,650 votes as of now. In Cavite, Ramon Jolo Revilla, who is the son of Senator Bong Revilla, currently has 394,147 votes, which is 100,000 votes more than Ronald J. Lacson of the Liberal Party. So we see him taking that province as well. In the House Representative scene, we have Lucy Torres Gomez, who is a model and actress, currently at 96,959 votes, compared to Eric Codilia, who has 70,673 votes. What's interesting is that the Codilia family is actually a very old political family in Leyte, and Torres Gomez also is part of a landed elite in that area. So even if she has star power, she's also banking on the power of her family name in that province. E.R. Ejercito, who represents Una, currently has 413,552 votes compared to Edgar San Luis of the Liberal Party with 355,682 votes. And we all know him for starring in iconic roles, for example, in movies like Asyong Salonga, where he portrayed the mob criminal. And it's interesting to note that Era played the same role a couple of years ago. And we also know him for depicting none other than President Emilio Aguinaldo in a recent MMFF film. So we see him sort of banking perhaps on that hero image of his. And that's probably a lot of where he gets his campaign material or his image from in that province. In Camarines Sur, we have Aga Mulak with 51,731 votes, and he's leading against Wimpy Fontebella with 48,804 votes. And we know Wimpy Fontebella's family to be a political clan there also, so Aga Mulak is leading in that front. Meanwhile, some celebrity candidates are not doing so well in their races, which perhaps shows that star power isn't everything for the elections in those areas. For example, we have Richard Gomez, who is running for mayor of Ormoc City in Leyte, and he's currently behind Edward Codilia, but only a few thousand votes. In Batangas, we have Christopher De Leon, currently in last place compared to the two other candidates, so he might not be winning this year. In Parañaque, Joey Marquez, who we all know as an actor and the TV show host, currently is in second place against Gus Tabunting of Una. So he's currently lagging by a few thousand votes as well. And so that's it so far for the celebrity candidates. We'll be waiting in a few hours for more proclamations in those areas. Thank you, Maria.
Thanks, Pia. Toby, that hasn't seemed to change that much. Celebrity, a well-known family name, money. You talked about money for ads, but media. These are still old ways of campaigning, they haven't changed, have they?
But the percentages have changed. No? As I said, people don't. There's less. Even Comelec said that there's much less vote buying now. Why? Because people won't sell their votes, and even if you buy their votes, they'll just vote for whoever they want to anyway.
The pragmatic.
It becomes useless. No? Why? Because they're more aspirational. They want progress. They want betterment of lives. They don't look at it on a one-day basis anymore. If every day did before, as people claim, no?
Yeah.
Because I'm a first-generation politician. That's why when I was told years ago that money is important,
yes,
I was saying I think it's a myth. It's a myth carried out by political leaders so that they can make money out of the candidate. But it really doesn't reach the people. Because, for example, let's be practical about it. You want to win, you want to buy 10,000 votes. Tell me, how can you buy 10,000 votes in one area? If you need 10,000 votes to beat your candidate, the other candidate, no? 10,000 votes, how can you buy 10,000 votes? Secondly, how will you be sure that the voter whom you have given money to will vote for you? So I think it's a myth, or maybe politicians are starting to realize, my money's not going to the voters, it's just going to some few supposedly leaders.
So what's replacing that now? If you're saying that's changing, is there a different way of looking at how to win these voters?
The different way of looking is really explaining to them, and it's really performance based. No?
Okay.
I would like to think. I've always said that the best politics is performance. Even on my first term, because I didn't come from a political family. I came from a family of businessmen. So I would always look at things differently. And then when they were saying that you have to take care of the big leaders, I would always say, no, you have to take care of the voter. It's not the big leaders that you have to make happy, but the voter. So and the most important thing for me now is really getting directly to the people. In local politics, that's the most important thing. Even in national politics, with TV ads, you get direct to the people. I mean, for example, without TV ads, how does a candidate get known in a province? He has to either go there, or he has to link up with the local politician who will carry him in every nightly rally and who will take care of his posters. But with media, media overtakes or surpasses the influence of the local candidate, who is supposed to carry the national candidate.
You ran UNA, and then at the same time, you were also running your campaign. I mean,
Yes.
how were you able to balance these needs?
Modesty aside, I always say that what is a 45-day campaign period compared to, for example, 3 years in office? Every election, this is my hypothesis. Every election, that's why timing is important.
Yes.
Okay.
Peaking.
Because every election, if there is an incumbent, it's about the incumbent. For example, there are 3 candidates, an incumbent candidate and 2 challengers. The 2 challengers will not hit on each other, but they will hit on the incumbent candidate and ask him what he has done and what he has failed to do. So it's the performance of the incumbent candidate. That's why what I'm saying is timing is very important for a candidate who wants to run, because if the incumbent candidate has a high approval rating, it's just like a product. If people are used to this type of hot dog and they're happy, even if you introduce a new hot dog into the market, they will not try the new hot dog, but they will only look at the new product if they're not happy with the present product. But of course, if there's no incumbent and all of you are newcomers, then it's totally new playing field. So it's a different situation where you have an incumbent and where you have no incumbent. In my case, I have told the people of Navotas that you've known me for 15 years. I've been your vice mayor for 1.5 years, your mayor for 10.5 years, your congressman for almost 3 years. So please judge me on what I've done. But the problem with me is that I enjoy campaigning. I enjoy local campaigns because it's like a fiesta. You know, it's a very enjoyable experience. Some people don't like local campaigns. I enjoy campaigning. I enjoy going around. So it wasn't really work for me. No? And of course, it's an advantage that the mayor is doing a good job. Of course, people will say I'm saying that because he's my brother, but he won by a big margin. Our vice mayor won. All our 12 councilors won. So I attribute that to the performance of the local candidates.
The number one right now, Grace Poe, was
Yes.
actually originally an UNA candidate. Was this a miscalculation in dropping her? Looking back on hindsight.
No, because the thing was they were, Team Pinoy was preventing them from joining our sorties. No? So I had to make that decision because it was unfair for our 9 other candidates if they would not join our sorties. Because in a Senate race, you want each candidate contributing to the other candidate so that when you pull them up,
Yes.
you have more votes. No, you don't want candidates going solo.
Okay, we'll do one last whip. Let's go to Move.ph. Move.ph is actually our somewhere in between citizen journalism and professional journalists. We had a group of Rappler ambassadors who were covering elections today. Thea Teves is there. Thea, what do you have?
Earlier, Rappler Ambassador Paula Azurin shared with us an inspiring story of manual auditors of Bacolod who have been working hard to make sure votes are counted accurately. She just sent in the results of the manual count in the Bacolod City precinct she is covering. And it showed that the PICO's results are actually accurate, and both the manual and electronic results coincided. But there was an insignificant difference in the counting of votes for 2 local candidates. It showed that gubernatorial bet Anthony Rolando Goles got 264 in the manual count and 266 in the electronic count, while mayoral candidate Representative Monico Puentevella had 419 in the manual count and 417 in the electronic count. But the auditors there explained that a 1 to 2 vote difference is insignificant or tolerable. However, a 3 to 10 vote difference would indicate that there may have been a discrepancy in the PICO's results. And if we look at the results for the senators in that area, Ramon Magsaysay actually had 311 votes counted from the PICO's machines and 314 votes from the manual count. But however, this is still low, and other senatorial candidates, Eduardo Angara, Bam Aquino, JV Ejercito, Liasos Marwil, Coco Pimentel, Christian Senieres, and Cynthia Villar had a variance of 1 vote from their PICO's result count. So that's from our Bacolod Rappler Ambassador Paula Azurin. And next up is we have the election results wrap from all the ambassadors from Parañaque, Santa Rosa, Laguna, Bacolod, CDO, and Cagayan de Oro and Las Piñas. They reported to us winners proclaimed by the local board of canvassers in their areas. In Parañaque, Edward Olivares was officially proclaimed as the new city mayor of Parañaque, and Rico Goles, his running mates, the running mate of his opponent, June Bernabe, who is the son of outgoing mayor Florencio Bernabe, won the vice mayoral race. And in Santa Rosa, Laguna, re-electionist Arlene Arcilla is once again voted as the mayor of Santa Rosa, Laguna, despite disqualification raps filed against her by her opponent Lazaga because of violation of the election gun ban in April 2013. And in Bacolod, former Representative Monico Puentevella has been proclaimed as the city's new mayor. And in Cagayan de Oro City, our Rappler Ambassador Gio Marlon Libot tweeted that as of 7:30 p.m., Oscar Moreno was proclaimed as mayor, Rolando Uy is 1st District Congressman and Rufus Rodriguez, 2nd District Congressman. The total count was 96, the total votes canvassed were 96.94%. In Las Piñas, Mayor Vergel Nene Aguilar was proclaimed again as mayor, and vice mayor is Luis Bustamante. So that's it for our election wrap, and our ambassadors have been tweeting how they were feeling during the election coverage, and because the election is coming to a close, so their coverage is coming to a close. So let's go to their tweets. Josa Salazar says that, I have been to lots of locations since yesterday. I am guided all the way. Final stretch of election coverage tonight. And she had a funny tweet which said, what's going to kill me in this coverage is the weight of my bag. Dala ang buong bahay te. He he he. And then, sorry. So Jem De Leon actually tweeted if she could, that she was about to faint, and she asked permission if she could go home. So that's how hardworking our Rappler ambassadors are. And finally, Paula Azurin, the very energetic Bacolod Rappler ambassador, said that while waiting for the results of elections, nagtitisis ako while waiting for results para walang idle time. Para din yan sa bayan, she said. That's wrap, and that's a wrap for Move.ph. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Thea. All right, let's finish this by looking at exactly what Rappler is. We started in social media. We are going to finish with social media. Bea Kupin, tell us, what's the mood on social media?
Hi Maria. Social media, PHvote was a mix of emotions, but you can see on the Rappler mood meter, most people were happy. They were inspired. They were excited to vote. We had a lot of conversations on Twitter about those things. So every step of the voting process, we actually had conversations. We asked people if they were going out to vote. We also asked them if they didn't vote, why didn't they want to vote? So there we had some negative vibes from people who were saying na, what's the point? Why would they vote? Very pessimistic things. But then, at the end of the day, we still saw tweets about people, being very encouraged by the whole voting process. I also just want to say that Rappler's PHvote coverage has been very fast-paced, both online and on the ground. And on top of the Rappler ambassadors, we'd like to thank Rappler's amazing online community. Without them, our coverage would not have been the same. So, what did we do on social media? On Facebook, we had I voted. So we asked our voters, our community, to do a very simple thing. We asked them to take pictures of their fingers with indelible ink. So we got a very positive response. There you go. People doing a finger selfie. Is that a thing? Can we call it like that? So there. That's for Facebook. On Twitter, like I said, we had a conversation. We had a lot of conversations. We used the hashtag PHvote to track people's sentiments all over Twitter. But it doesn't end there. On Instagram, this was more of us telling people to go out and vote. So we gave them a lot of call-outs. This one, still seeing no change. Don't give up just yet. Go out and vote. Because we hear stories from yesterday of people waiting 4 hours in line. We heard stories of the senior citizens who actually had to go up a flight of four flights of stairs. So, sayang naman yung vote mo kung yung boto mo, di ba? And finally, on Google Plus, we had 2 conversations over the past 3 days, rather. Just this morning, we asked people to talk about the 2013 midterm elections. What were hits? What were misses? What did they like about it? We also talked to 2 first-time voters, and we had the chance to talk to someone who was actually part of the Grace Poe campaign, and he was also here earlier, Brian Lamanzares. So we were everywhere on social media. We might be based in the Bayanihan Center, but we were everywhere. We were in Mindanao, we were in Luzon, we were in Visayas. So we would want to thank our online community for talking to us on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, Google+, lahat na, Foursquare, hindi ko alam. So thank you to everyone who interact with Rappler on social media.
Thank you. Bea Kupin. from social media. Toby, social media, we were just discussing this. When is the day? How important will social media be for
No,
candidates?
I really don't know. That was what I was asking you, though. When will the day be that, because now it's 80% TV.
TV.
So if it's 80% TV and you want to maximize the 120 minutes of COMELEC, which was given a TRO
Yes.
by the Supreme Court, which means that you can spend 120 minutes per station. So if there's 3 major stations, you can spend 360 minutes. 360 minutes is about 300 million pesos. But if the time comes when free media and social media becomes 50-50 with paid media,
Yes.
then you will have qualified candidates who can win without having 100 million or 200 million. I mean, now, if you don't have 120 million,
You won't have a shot.
I mean, let's be practical and let's look at the results. No, there are good candidates, but if you cannot come out on TV ads at a frequency that is needed, so that you will have at least the first thing is name recall.
Yes.
Second thing is likability, and third is how you influence the voters to vote for you. So if you cannot sustain this campaign on TV, how will the voter even think of voting of you? So if it becomes 50-50, then you will have good candidates who don't have that much money, who will be able to run a decent campaign. But what will happen next is, I think, I don't know what's going to happen to political parties after that. Because with TV, political parties' influence has been diminished. So now if you bring in social media, it might be the new kingmaker, but it would be good for the people because they'll have more choices.
The final days now before the official results are announced. I mean, you brought up, we started this conversation by talking about how slow.
Yeah, because I got a text report. I don't know. I hope COMELEC confirms or denies this. Our IT, because we're hooked up to the COMELEC server,
Yes,
right? Like
yes.
you are.
Yes.
So our IT is saying that it's now 1% every 10 hours. So I think I'm requesting COMELEC through AB James Jimenez, just tell us the reason why it has slowed down. Let's be transparent. Let's admit if there's glitches. Let's admit if there's problems in transmission. But let's not leave people guessing. Because when there's uncertainty, that's where doubt begins. So we don't like people to doubt why the election. You know, if that ranking suddenly changes after a slow transmission, you know, there'll be a lot of talks. Remember, during the manual days, what was the secret? The secret was to delay the results in ARMM.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I'm not saying that they're doing it on purpose now, but you've covered elections so long that you know that the secret before was to delay ARMM at doon mo habulin yung kailangan mong boto. I mean, di naman sekreto yan.
Yes, of course. So you're afraid that some
No, I'm not
things,
afraid. I'm just saying that
it's better to be.
it's better for COMELEC to say why rather than people start imagining the reasons why this is happening.
Okay. Your final words, Toby. When you look back again, we're talking about right now. You're looking at the results as they come in. The announcements, the pronouncements of the senators will happen tomorrow. Perspective again. What will the 2013 elections?
I think if you will look at it, it's old names, new faces, and I think the voter still has a still bases their confidence level on a brand name that they know, but they want a new product from that brand name.
So change, but stability at the same time.
No, it's just like a product, like a canned good that comes out with a new flavor. So they want that brand that they're used to, but they want something new. Maybe because before they would used to eat something that's not too healthy, but now because people are influenced of a healthy lifestyle, they want that same brand but a healthier meal. So it's old names, but new faces.
Is that good or bad for where we are today as a democracy? It's 27 years after.
No, I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's good that people are more empowered and more informed nowadays. So that's what's going to bring change. You know, politicians won't change if the voters don't demand it, because in the first place, what they give into is the political demand of the voter. So they would always want to please the voter. So more informed voter equals better politicians.
Okay. Thank you, Toby Tiangco. Congratulations on your own race.
Thank you.
Before we say goodbye, let's take a look again at the election results with Josh. Go ahead, tell us.
One last refresh, Maria. I've zoomed in on the election returns received 69%, which means we have about 31% still remaining. You need to watch out for that. Let me zoom out now and show you the whole page. These are results as of 9:04 p.m. 28,483,042 votes counted so far. In the lead, Grace Poe, 14,679,000. Number 2, Lauren Legarda, 13,437,000. Number 3, Alan Peter Cayetano, 12,704,000. Number 4, Cheese Escudero, 12,695,000. Number 5, Nancy Binay, 11,981,000. Number 6, Sunny Angara, 11,546,000. Number 7, Bam Aquino, 11,132,000. Number 8, Coco Pimentel, 10,645,000. Number 9, Sunny Trillanes, 10,224,000. Number 10, Cynthia Villar, 9,965,000. 11, JV Ejercito, 9,884,000. And number 12, Gringo Honasan, 9,538,000. Again, like I said, there are about 31% of election returns that we are still waiting for. We may not be broadcasting live, but all these results are available on Rappler.com. All you have to do is log on to our website. There's a lot of playing around that you can do, as you saw today. You may not have a touchscreen like this, but you can do it from your computer and from your mobile device. Take a look at these results and watch as the remaining transmissions are received, especially if you are in areas where a lot of transmissions have not been made yet. Maria?
Thank you, Josh Villanueva. Let's take a look here on election day. Neighbors in a resettlement area in Montalban hop into a jeep to go to Makati. Find out why from Daniel Rudin.
Nancy Brenzuala is 45 years old and has 2 children. 2 years ago, Nancy was an informal settler in Guadalupe Viejo, a poor community in Makati City. When the shantytown burned down, leaving 10,000 homeless, Nancy had no choice but to relocate to Montalban. She is now president of the neighborhood association. Now Nancy earns less and pays more for housing in Montalban.
So dito, sa hirap ng buhay, walang mga hanap buhay ang tao. Ang pag nagtinda ka, hindi rin siya talagang mabili.
On election day, Nancy says 150 voters returned to their former neighborhood. Transportation courtesy of Barangay Guadalupe Viejo, Makati. Translation: politicians want their vote. Nancy says they take advantage of the free transportation, but vote whom they want to vote. Her next-door neighbor, Mercy McAlliber, is one of them.
Doon kasi, nasa squatter kami, kakaba laging may sunog, may ano, dito at least, may sarili na kaming bahay dito.
Mercy chooses to vote in Makati, where she still works as a domestic helper.
Maganda dito kasi madaling makumita ng pera eh. Kaysa doon sa Montalban, doon mahirap, tagutom nga kami doon, malayo. Kaya mas gugustuhin ko dito talaga kami, kaso hindi naman namin sariling bahay.
On her way to the voting precinct, Mercy stops in for lunch with Romano Castillo, her neighbor, in Montalban and the husband of Nancy. Romano lives in Montalban during the week and Makati on the weekends. He also chooses to vote in Makati, not Montalban.
Dito sa sa Makati, kaya gusto namin bumoto, maraming pribileyo itong bayan namin dito sa Makati, sa mga tao, katulad ng mga hospitalization, libreng paaral sa mga bata, merong sa senior citizen.
Although Nancy, Romano, and Mercy technically live in Montalban, scarce resources in their new home compel them to keep one foot and one finger in Makati. Daniel Rudin, Rappler.
Well, that's it for today's coverage for the 2013 midterm polls. Toby Tiangco, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Honestly, I'm impressed with the software.
Oh, well.
I mean, it will help us not only. Will you take it off or will you leave it?
It's there. It's there forever. So you can.
So
this is the best part about the internet.
No, we'll be able to use that data for future elections.
Absolutely, it's yours. This is the best part of it. Now we are closing this election coverage from Bayanihan, but we're going to continue around the clock looking at the stories. We still have, as Josh told you, we still have more to look at in terms of the result. Toby is making sure that the integrity of the results are there. Talk to us. We're going to continue working with you. Talk to Rappler.com on social media, on Facebook, and on Twitter. Continue using the hashtag PHvote. What we're going to do is we're going to scrape the tweets and actually map the communities that we've created together in these last 2 days. It's been an incredible time, the second automated elections for the Philippines. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Everything moves forward as is. Thank you so much for joining Rappler. To the Rappler staff, our first election coverage. Thank you so much.
Okay, pwesto lang natin. Ma'am. Rapplers, picture taking lang tayo. Sa tabi ko. Biro lang. Sige, sa stage tayo. Pinost niya ba? Ilan broadcast niya na? Hindi pa. Hayaan mo lang, bro. Hayaan ko lang. Sige, sa harap tayo, sa harap. Sa stage area tayo. Tapos, saan natin i-record pag ito? Pa-record na lang. I-off mo na. Ay, itinanggal mo na sa embed, no? Hindi pa. Panggalin mo na. Tanggalin mo na.
Tanggalin ko na? Stop ko na? Mamaya ko tanggalin pagkatapos nyo mag-picture.
Sige, after picture taking.